So we'll start with the agents interface first. Now, after the agents have logged in, they need to select an extension. So when we say extension, this is basically the agent's phone number on which they would be receiving calls as well as initiating calls. So for the time being, I've put down my number as an agent over here. After the agents have logged in, and yes, after they have selected the extension, so this would be the main agents interface that we give to them, and this is broadly divided into three major components. We've got the presence management bar over here. From here, the agents can log out if they require, they can change their extension, they can put themselves available with configurable break options, which means if you want to add any other or any more break options, you can always add them. We have the auto mode button, which tells the system that the agent is ready to receive calls. We have the callback notification. Okay, now once an agent schedules a callback, so prior to the callback schedule, he'll be notified from here. In the later part of the demonstration, we'll see how that happens. We've got the knowledge base area over here. We can configure any website. So there are only two prerequisites for this. One, that the website must be web-based, and the other being that the website must support iframes. If these two prerequisites or these two conditions are met, you can configure any website over here. And yes, we have the telephony panel over here. Now, let's initiate a manual outbound call to see how a CTI gets populated and how the CRM looks like. So I will dial on my number over here. So I've received the call as an agent first, because I put down my number as an agent, and now I've received the call as a customer. Now, as soon as the call got connected, or let's say before even the call actually got connected, we got the customer information in front of us, like this customer's name and his phone number, and the CRM that Ameyo is offering, that has been populated. Now, because Ayush is an existing customer, so that's why we have these particular parameters in front of us, like this customer's name, email address, his phone number, and we have all of his previous interactions into place. So now I can see, okay, Ayush has called us 3 times before, or let's say more than 3 times also, so we can have a look at that also. As an agent, if I had added, or any of the agents had added any comment over here for this very call, that would also be tagged with each and every interaction that you can see. On the CRM part, this is completely customizable. If you want to change the fields or some of the parameters into this, that can be completely done. So it's a one-time customization. The first time you need to tell us to Ameyo, and we can create the CRM for you. On the telephony panel, as an agent, the various capabilities I have, I can put the call on hold, on mute, the basic ones. I can take in conference any available agent or any external phone number. So this can be a mobile number, landline number, or an extension number. I can transfer this call to, again, any available agent to an IVR, let's say for a feedback. So after the call ends, the call can be directly transferred to feedback IVR, to an external phone number, and also different campaigns or keys. And yes, lastly, we have the disposition. Now, disposition basically tells the outcome of the call, that why did the call actually happen. So these are the disposition codes which are completely configurable in nature. You can have your own disposition codes into place. Whatever disposition the agent select would be passed on to the CRM that we are offering, as well as to the reports also, to the Ameyo reports. Now over here we have a callback functionality. A very simple scenario, let's say the agent and the customer are talking to each other, and the customer requests for a callback, let's say after 3 hours. It's quite easy for the agents to schedule a callback. What they need to do. Okay, so let's say it's 3:35 now. So I'll select the callback for 6:35. That's it. It's quite easy. After I select 6:35, as soon as I save the details, automatically after 3 hours, a callback would be initiated. And it's not limited to only a specific time. We can have on a specific date. So if the customer request for a follow-up call or a callback after 2 days or after 2 weeks. So that is also very much possible. With the self callback option, so if the agent selects this option, this means the callback would be scheduled for the very same agent who was actually having the conversation. So if Bijit, whose agent's name, if he's having the conversation, at the time of the callback, this call would be patched to Bijit and not some other agent. And yes, prior to the callback, he'll be notified from here. So it can be 5 minutes prior, 10 minutes prior, or 15 minutes prior, according to your preference. So I'll select a particular disposition, I'll end the call. Now with the call details, so as an agent, if I just want to have a quick glance at my callbacks which I made yesterday, or let's say how many callbacks have been scheduled for today, for tomorrow, I can have a look at that. Similarly, I can have a look at the call history also. So for example, if I want to see how many calls I made today, or tomorrow, yesterday, or for a particular customer name, so that can also be managed. So I selected for today. Now, when I selected for today, I can see the customer's phone number over here, the disposition with the same, the call type, whether it was an inbound call or an outbound call, the timestamp of the call, and yes, as an agent, I can listen to the voice recording. I can even download it. So this was basically regarding the agent's interface. So we discussed firstly how the agent interface looks like and how it has been divided into three major components. We have then initiated a manual outbound call to see how a customer information as well as the CRM got populated for an existing customer. And then lastly discussed regarding the telephony panel, where we saw how the agents can schedule callbacks, disposition, transfer the call as well as take in calls.